Hello, I'm going to show you how to access, edit, and format content in a block. Now, there's several types of blocks in this website. This is an image block. This is a content header block. And these are basically content blocks. We're looking at this now in a live view, so you can't do any editing, but you can, click around. So what I'm going to do now is pause for a moment, and I'm going to show you how you can get in and start creating and editing blocks. Okay, here we are inside a website in the MUS editor. And up here again, we have an image block, a header content block, or a content header block. And these are all dedicated. Now, this is a display mode. So in order to edit these, we have to go into our editor. Now remember up here, there's a content or header content here. That'll let you edit that. What we want to get into is the website content. Now, this website already has blocks that are already created. So what I'm going to do show you now is how to go ahead and create a block for purposes of, learning how to edit. The first thing you've got to always do is remember to put a title in here. Now the title is down here. This is a small type, header, which is usually one word. You can make it longer if you like, but usually I just recommend you call this a section, and this is the content in it which you would format. So let's just create one called training, okay? Now we have to decide if we want a 1 or 2 column block. We're going to create a 2 column block. These are 2 columns, right? Now, right now the editor edits in 1 column. We're going to probably create a feature that when you switch it to 2 columns, it'll then size to the same size down here so you can get a better feel. And these are just some of the suggestions we're getting as people start using them. So they're very helpful, and please let us know if you have ideas to make this better. We want to co-create it with you. So, excuse me, it's a little pollen here today. I'm going to show you how to edit. So let's just create a website. All right, now this is some text. Now you can highlight this, you can cut it, you can paste it. You can also highlight, copy, and make a second copy of it, all right? Or you can delete it, just like any text editor. This will make the entire editing experience larger. I recommend you don't do that. If you want to bold it, here's your bold, right? Over here is the font size, where you can make it larger or smaller. Here's the italics. You can turn it on and off. There's your underlining. This is the strikeout. We recommend you probably don't need that. Here's where you can change your font types. So you can change these to different font families. And you can also add a color, right? Now over here is a handy little thing called undo and redo. So you can actually undo everything and take it back to wherever you had it or liked it best. So next we have here what's called inline. We're going to skip that now because that has to do with putting images in line with text. This is an inline style, which means within text you can add big red or small blue. There's not much need for this. We may find some different inlines that we want to create, but for now that's probably not a particularly useful tool to you. Here's what's called a paragraph style, and it's actually listed in here as that, so you can change it to uppercase, spaced, gray, that was bordered. So you can do a few little interesting things. I haven't found much particular need for that, but you might find a reason for yourself. Over here is what's called line height. So let's say you've got text. Now we're going to notice I just hit enter and drop down. If I want to change that size of that, I can move it down to 18, take the bold, and then start typing right there. Now, okay, now, let's say we highlight all that. We go over here to line height, and we can change it to increase and decrease the line height, or we can go back to default. Default is usually no spacing. Many websites use 1.15, which makes it just a little bit better to read. This formatting here is something we're still developing in terms of trying to find a look and feel that we like. What that essentially does is change the heading font sizes. So this isn't fully evolved yet, so probably don't give that a whole lot of thought. And again, you can back out of just about anything you do. Excuse me. Now, here's an interesting thing. Let's say you want to indent, or you want to, let's look at justification or alignment. So this currently is left aligned. So if you click on that, that's what you got. Now, if you want to center it, you do that. If you want to go right alignment, you do that. And if you want everything stretched out, it's not going to work because there's not enough letters here, but that's for, having everything lined up fully on left and right. You can also do some interesting things here with lists. You can do a default. So the way you turn these off is you go here and you click on this, and that gives it the number. And so there's that. You can do alpha, Greek, not much call for Greek, uppercase, lowercase Roman, uppercase. So you can vary around with your different kinds of formatting, and then to just switch it back to nothing, click on that. Here's another interesting, these are bullet features. So you can use circles, discs, or squares, or turn it off. Now here's another interesting feature. You can take this line and move it over, right? Or you can indent back. So when you indent something and you do a new line, see what happens? Everything pretty much stays the same, right? And you can delete things to bring it back. Now if you want to go down a space and then go back over here, you just do that. I'm going to undo that now just to show you can also use the backspace, right? But to get out of that, you need to move it like that to start your next line. I hope that helps.